Hello everyone, welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight.
Doing all this moderation stuff for Discord.
I'm a social media futurist.
Been a moderator at Be Friends.
Now it's my project because I love sports.
I'm speaking at NFT NYC.
Welcome on the show. Welcome everyone and welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight. And Robert Spotlight today, Afzal. Afzal, welcome on the show.
Thank you very much for invitation for this wonderful show, and I'm very excited to talk about the new stuff.
Let's go. So Afzal, could you introduce yourself for people that don't know you?
Yes, of course. I'm Afzal Subhani, and I run the Web3 development agency. I'm also affiliated with a lot of Web3 projects, from play to earn to metaverse, and a lot of DFI projects. I actually advise them on the marketing and operations, and at the same time, I also run, as I mentioned, I run a Web3 development firm. So, giving them solution from scratch, trying to understand their requirements, and then offer them a solution. So yeah, it's a wonderful journey for me being here.
Okay. And how did you start doing all these things? Because it seems that you are doing several activities. Or did you start being involved on all that activities?
Basically, I started back in 2019 when I worked in a Web3 development agency as a business development executive. And being honestly, I totally understand about the blockchain and crypto space already. I invested some of my funds in the crypto space at that time, but I was kind of new and I wanted to learn more because, Web3 is emerging technology and everybody's, the adoption rate is quite high. But then I get a chance to attend an event in Dubai back in 2019. It was a fantastic experience for me when I actually meet with a lot of industry leaders, and then I started to understand that the Web3, especially the metaverse, it's a revolution, honestly. So yeah, I mean, it's been a great journey for me.
Okay. And what basically did you understood? Because here you just say that you understood, you picture that the metaverse is a revolution, but
Yes,
what did you see at that time? What did you saw at that time?
So basically, in terms of Web3, first of all, the privacy is always a concern. I mean, we have seen there are so many breaches around the world when it comes to privacy. User data is always very sensitive. And in blockchain, Web3, when we are storing data on blockchain, it gives us a security. And when I first saw a video of Mark, the founder of Facebook, when he was introducing metaverse, it was kind of a fun to me to understand the concept. Okay, it's going to be amazing. And after like COVID, I understood that this is going to be a very amazing thing in the future, because a lot of companies, they went to work from home from their operations. So I see it as a futuristic approach, and I do believe every business should follow metaverse, because if you are adopting metaverse right now, this is the perfect time. Otherwise, you'll be somehow leaving the trends behind, and if you're not following the trends, you're not following the users' demand, then you're not gonna survive in coming years.
Okay, perfect. Just before starting the conversation around metaverse, could you describe with your own word what is the metaverse?
So metaverse is a next kind of technology. It's next level technology where if you are doesn't matter if you're a chubby guy, if you are having a six pack abs, you can show yourself as an avatar, and you could be so handsome in the metaverse, and you can play fun. And if you fear about if you're not very socialist person, then you can simply go to metaverse and you can explore the world. And to me, it's a fun job, honestly.
Okay. Perfect. So here I'm going to quote one of my previous guests on Robert Spotlight. It's Jen Capon. I don't know if you know that person. He lives in US, but I had him on the episode 11. So here it's episode 65 of Robert Spotlight. But I had him on episode 11, and what he said to me about I asked basically the same question, and if I quote him correctly, he says that metaverse it's not a virtual world; it's just the internet on its third generation. So it's what he say to me. So it's like it's not a virtual world,
Mhm.
the internet in itself. But in its third generation.
Yes, absolutely. We can say that because, I mean, everybody is talking about the metaverse and benefits. And when I started to understand about the negative impacts of metaverse, it's also very dangerous. I have some concerns if the users uh, they are addicted to metaverse, and I do believe there's going to be consequences when it comes to the social life. So we need to think about that. And being an industry leader or working in the metaverse, we need what I prescribe it to me. If we are going to use metaverse and the real world, it's kind of a mixed experience. If we use it metaverse also, and we actually apply the effect of metaverse into the real world, it's gonna be much better than you are just spending like 10 or 15 hours on the metaverse trying to meet with the peoples or even you are working in the metaverse. So to me, of course, metaverse is the next internet generation, but there are some consequences and we have to be very careful with that.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk about this thing later on. Here, in a business perspective, so which industry do you think is going to be the most impacted by the metaverse?
uh, First of all, retail business.
Retail.
I do,
Okay.
yes. Retail business is going to be very successful in metaverse because it gives their customers an experience that they can simply go to the metaverse, they can visit their shop and try to, you know, review the products, their features, and then they can place their order on the metaverse, and then they receive their order on their doorstep. So I do believe retail business, and apart from that, every business, specifically when it comes to work from home, it's very easy for them to go for the meetings, to set up an office environment. So overall, every business can actually entertain from metaverse. But I do believe the industry, specifically retail and fashion, they're actually far ahead. They can utilize metaverse as much as they can.
Okay. And do you have specific use case that pop up in your mind when you talk about the retail industry and the fashion industry?
So it actually working right now. Just like Nike, they recently launched their store in the metaverse on Decentraland. There are some use cases already in the market, and if I talk about a very specific use cases, the aviation industry is converting and they're using metaverse very much when it comes to training their pilots. So it's very easy for them to train their pilots. And also, I have recently seen some of the use cases and some of the experiments being done by some doctors in the US. They actually trying to learn the surgeries in metaverse, which is very good.
Okay, perfect. So, and what was the use case that you said just before the doctor?
Nike, that's
Nike.
also, yes, Nike shoes.
Okay. And are you talking about RTF Kitty?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please?
You know Nike buy NFT project. I
Yes,
believe
yes,
it was last year. Are you talking about that?
yes, yes, absolutely. I'm talking about Nike.
Okay,
They're
perfect.
they're more into Web3 in NFTs.
Okay. And what would be the challenge that you see on the development on the metaverse?
So first of all, the biggest challenge is, I mean, everybody wants to jump into the metaverse development, but the problem is the approach for every users to get the goggles, you can say Oculus, which is very expensive these days. I mean, if first of all we need to make sure that just like mobile phone, but back in like 2002 and 3 when we started to understand the revolution of smartphones in the industry, but the problem was the access of smartphone to every user around the world, but it's going to take some time, right? So I have seen that the metaverse, everybody's trying to build it, but we need to make sure that the gadgets should be easily accessible to all the users around the world. So it's going to take some time. Adoption is going to take some time, and we're going to see a lot of challenges when it comes to metaverse. As I mentioned, privacy is still one of the big concern.
Okay. And what can you say about that big concern?
About privacy?
Yes.
So I was actually exploring about the privacy, the user's data. There's going to be a lot of things needs to be done in the metaverse about the user privacy data. First of all, I don't see any solid solution to store the data of users first of all, and then the breach of data, because if you are going into the metaverse and you are free to jump into everywhere and you can actually review the information over every user. So first of all, if you are building a metaverse, you need to make sure that you actually come up with the solid privacy control, that you cannot explore, you cannot even give the authority to the users or yourself to exploit the user's data. I mean, suppose if I'm running around or I'm actually moving around in the metaverse and everybody can see my data, where I'm from, what is my name, what is my details, then it has to be secure first. So that's the still biggest concern. And if you are buying something on metaverse, then what is the criteria of storing those data? Who is going to use those data?
Okay.
You can sell it to anywhere.
Okay. And what do you see any solution that are trying to solve this privacy problem, or maybe it's not a solution in itself, it's maybe some behavior on the human side? What could you say about the workaround and the solution?
So according to me, I think the solution can be from the both side. First of all, from the user's perspective, if they are selecting a metaverse and they want to jump in and they're trying to explore the world, first of all, they have to make sure they're not giving a lot of information when it's a new world for them. And for those who are developing metaverse and trying to run those projects, they have to make sure that they actually and it comes to the regulations in the world as well. I don't see it, I mean, being honestly, there is no country right now who's actually regulating metaverse. I don't see anyone doing this. So it's going to take some time. First of all, they have to regulate about the metaverse uses, and then those projects needs to compliance according to that. And that's the solution we can see in the near future.
Okay. And here you talk about country, right? So it's like the metaverse should comply with some jurisdiction, right?
So basically, the metaverse is still a new for a lot of countries, being honestly. So they first of all on the government level they have to understand the metaverse and how they can control it from for the users and for the business community. So it's still early, it's still at the early stage right now. It's gonna take some time, but we have seen like just like Web3 and crypto. I mostly talk about the Dubai. And UAE, they actually adopt blockchain and cryptocurrency at a very early stage, and there are a lot of countries right now. And I mean, in Bitcoin, it came back. It's been some time, but right now there is just one country who actually give Bitcoin access to its citizen, which is El Salvador. There's just one country right now. Others are doing their parts, but they're still very early stage. So I can see in the metaverse what we can expect improvements within next 3 to 5 years.
Okay. And what kind of if you can project in 4 or 5 years, what are the improvements that you can picture right now?
Okay, so my main concerns about the metaverse is first of all the privacy. The second thing is social life of a user, because if he's going to spend a lot of time on metaverse, then of course it's going to be difficult for him, so he can be very addicted to metaverse. So we'll have to wait for those cases, and when those cases are, they arise, then we'll have to think about its actual solution.
Okay, so right now it's more like pay attention to that. It's not a real problem
Yes.
today, but pay attention to that because that may happen on the near future. And right now, maybe we don't know how to handle that, but just
Yes.
keep an eye on that. It's what you express, right?
Yes, absolutely. I did research a lot of about the concerns on metaverse, and I have seen that a lot of people, a lot of authors who are actually writing about metaverse, they are all on the same page about the privacy and about the social life of a user, and I strongly agree to that. And I do believe that we should be adopting metaverse, and we better connect metaverse with our real world to get the effective results.
Okay. And I want to pick your brain about the anonymity, to be anonymous. What is your thought about uh, evolving on the metaverse and being anonymous?
Uh, First of all, that's a fun part in the metaverse. If you're anonymous and you're using an avatar of maybe a very handsome guy, and you're trying to be anonymous, and you want to do your stuff, you want to buy anything, and you want to meet and greet with the people, and at the same time, and if you are meeting with those people in real, and they see you just have a one pack, a fat fatty belly, so it's going to be a disaster. But yeah, anonymity is fine as far as there are no scammers, but it's not possible. Scammers are everywhere, and they want to hide their identity because they want to see what they can steal from the metaverse world.
Okay, but I mean, we can do like a simple connection between if you are anonymous, it's because you have bad intention, right?
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
also people with good intention want to stay anonymous, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I want to go to Avatar, and I want to show myself. I want to show my identity as my name, so people can see and try to understand who is me, right? And if I have some bad intentions, I want to stay anonymous. I want to see what's going on and how can I steal something from there.
Okay, perfect. And still on the trend and on the near future, because you say that it's the early stage. Would you say
Right.
that you picture yourself as a pioneer on the industry, like being involved and trying to shape the form of the evolution of the metaverse?
So basically, I have no idea what's going to be with me as part of this metaverse. I mean, in the future, but I have some. I mean, what I want is I definitely want to spread positivity about the metaverse, and how people can adopt it, how businesses can adopt it, and they can take benefits from it. Because to me, my perspective is very simple. If a technology is bringing something good in the life of peoples, then it is used by the right peoples. It's a nice approach. But if there's a technology who's actually a disaster and who's bringing negative impacts to the life of our people around the globe, then we should start thinking about it. How can we get rid of this kind of stuff?
Okay,
So it's
perfect.
about empowering people, helping each other.
Okay, and um, let's pretend that you are in front of a business person, right? So first of all, I want to say, because I saw you smile, so I'm going to we got that comment from YouTube. So Uzani say let's go, Afzal. And my next question is going to be around, um, if I remember. Yes. So my next question is going to be: let's pretend that you have a business person. a business person in front of you that it's not involved in any way in a Web3 ecosystem. What would you say to that person to make that person consider integrate Web3 on his business?
Okay, so it's more about Web3 adoption to Web2, because right now it's going on, right? Web2 businesses are moving from Web2 to Web3, and if you want to adopt Web3 right now, because it gives more power to the users, it gives more control to the users, and of course, when we talk about the Web3, there is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency itself is a revolution, right? When it comes to receiving payments, transferring and exchanging the currencies, right? So it's already a revolution in the world. So if there is a business person who wants to understand what is Web3, then I would definitely say that the Web3 is the future, and in order to get the adoption, you need to understand that every business wants sales, right? It doesn't matter if it's a B2C or it's a B2B. So if you want sales, first of all, you need to give full control to your business, to your community, to your users. If they can control, if they have a full control on their data, how they want to use it, it's very simple. I mean, they're going to come to you and they're going to buy the stuff, they're going to buy your services, right? And Web3 brings more transparency. In Web2, what happens is you're just simply collecting the data, you're processing the data, you're offering the services. But Web3 is more transparent when it comes to Web2. So transparency, cryptocurrency revolution, and of course, more control of the users on their data is definitely a worthwhile to explain to a newbie who can start understand what is Web3.
Okay, so if I summarize what you just said, it's basically you have to consider that because it's better for your consumer, and as it's better, your consumer is going to want that. So it's either you
Absolutely.
adapt to that shift from the customer perspective, or either your consumer is going to consume in another place, basically.
Yes, absolutely. You have to adopt what is going on in the market. I mean, adoption is already we're seeing a high adoption rate in Web2. Sorry, in Web3 from Web2. So that's good. And if you cannot adopt it right now, if you have concerns, that's absolutely fine. But you need to jump into and try to explore what is possible for you for your business.
Okay, perfect. And you personally, how many time do you spend on the metaverse on a weekly basis?
So I actually spend like 2 to 3 hours per day, because I'm a busy person, have a lot of stuff on my desk. So I have to, I'm actually, as I mentioned, I run a company. So I have projects, I provide advising, I provide consultation. So I do spend some time, but I have something in my mind that I have to control my time, which is very important.
Yes. And when on what are you doing on these 2 3 hours? So basically, what are you testing right now?
So I'm trying to the same thing. I'm trying to understand what's going on in the metaverse. How can we improve it? If there is improvement, I would definitely make a note of it. I try to write an article on that and try to explain to the world what kind of problems. So I'm trying to find the problems. I'm not looking at the solution. I'm looking at the problems right now. If I'll see anyone, I'll definitely make a note and I try to spread the word.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. And as you just say, you are a CEO. You are a founder on agency. What could you
Yes.
share about your journey of building in Web3?
So I actually found a lot of gap between the market and between the developers when it comes to Web3 development. So there are very few developers who have a strong grip on Web3, and I have seen a lot of problems to my clients when it comes to finding the right development agencies. So that's the reason I actually came up with the idea that I should have my own development agency. And then you start and act at the same time when you start actually hanging around with the like-minded people who understand the problem of client, who can actually take your side by side and provide solutions to your client. So that's the that's the idea behind Blockstini Technologies, and we are actually more focusing on Web3 development only. We're not taking Web2 projects right now, because Web2 project is everywhere going on. Every company is doing this. But our main focus is Web3 development. When it comes to blockchain, metaverse, gamify, gaming projects are boosting right now in gaming technology. And as far as I can see, according to the market research, it's going to be like 50 around $50 billion business in 2023 just from the blockchain gaming.
Okay. So regarding that number, can you quote the source? It's maybe Gartner, Deloitte. Who is your source regarding that?
Sourcing of
The 50 billion of the gaming industry.
So it's actually a research by what's called there's a CMC,
Okay.
CMC and Navik. They did a research on gaming, blockchain gaming, and they are expecting that the results will be around $50 billion in 2023 from blockchain gaming.
Okay.
So that's a huge numbers.
Okay, perfect. And I have a question regarding the developer, because basically what you said is you have detected that your customer had problem to find good developer, but right now
Right.
you take that on your own. So that means that right now you do have that problem. So how do you solve the problem of finding good developer?
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally depends on the market where we are right now. I'm actually sitting in Pakistan. I have my office here, and we have a very few companies here who are actually working in Web3. And of course, when there are very limited space of projects, then there is always, it comes to the resources. They're also very limited. So first of all, I have to find a person from different part of the world who can actually who is actually one of the best blockchain developer, and so I have to partner with him, and then it's more easier for me to find those challenges and try to pick someone who is very capable in Web3 development and then have him on board. So it's definitely a challenging for me as a founder of this company. But yeah, I mean, when there is a challenge, there is a solution too.
Yes. So here, and me, I'm interested on the solution. So what are you doing? So, because basically, what my understanding, it's your agency. It's doing a partnership with a blockchain developer, right? So it's kind of
Yes.
you can work with some freelancer or this kind of stuff, right? So
Yes,
my question,
absolutely.
is going to be around the fact that what are you doing that other agency of a blockchain developer are not doing?
Well, everybody is doing their job, being honestly. I'm not here to compete with anyone.
No, it's not. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to make any competition. It's I'm trying to find maybe something that you are doing, kind of picture like out of the box.
So yes, I totally understand your question. So what we are actually trying to actually, I recently discussed with my CTO, who's actually Nigerian, and he is also my partner in this business. So we actually discussed about the internships. I mean, internships always help newcomers to get into the industry. They can build their career. So that's what we are trying to do. That we are trying to educate a lot of newcomers into the blockchain development, so they can also it's going to be a win-win situation for all of us. I mean, we can even employ them, and they can even find employment everywhere they want. So that's what we are trying to do right now: education to the newcomers about blockchain development.
Okay, so it's like an internal program school.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Okay.
internal programs. Yes.
Okay.
And that's actually not just for the Web3 development. In my company right now, we have a lot of internees, because in my country, the market situation is a bit different. A lot of unemployed candidates. So what we are trying to do is, if we cannot offer them employment, so at least we can offer them internship, so they can come here, get stipend at least to cover their daily basis expenses, and also they can come and learn for the next 3 months. And if they get after 3 months, we'll give them the certificate, and if they're in, then they're free to go. If we'll see we have an opportunity, we give them employment.
Okay, perfect. And what about the channels that you are using to get customer?
I am a freelancer. I started my freelancing back in 2014, and it's been a long journey. I have a lot of clients. I travel also to Dubai a lot of time. The last time I went to Dubai for like 4 times to attend the events. I just recently came back on 13 January after attending an event as a speaker. So I'm a very people friendly guy. So I try whenever I'm going to the conferences, I try to understand their pain points of the startups, because these conferences are a great meetup for startups, for investors, and for the industry leaders. So I always go to them trying to explore their problems. If they're facing any problem in terms of development, then I offer them solution based on
Okay, perfect.
the
So right now, your main channel to attract client customer is to go on a business event.
business events and freelancing. And because I'm a top rated freelancer on Upwork, which is one of the top platforms in the world.
Okay, perfect. So Upwork in one side and a business event, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What could you share regarding the event part? You know, do you have any valuable experience that you can share?
Yes, of course, of course. I actually attended a lot of events in the past, as I mentioned, and I want to share my experience. That if you want to, first of all, some of the events I actually decided I actually selected those events myself, and some of the events selected by my clients, they want me to represent their project.
Okay.
And there is a criteria. If you want to attend an event, first of all you need to understand who are the speakers, who are the sponsorships, and how many years they have in the industry right now. If they're actually if they're organizing events from last 2 to 3 years, you need to go and look at their past events, what was the outcome, right? And then you decide if you are really if this event is really worthy to go and meet with the peoples. That totally depends, because when are you going to the event, first of all, you never sell directly. You do not pitch to anyone you meet. You first try to build connection, trying to understand why they are here. If they are startups, what they want to do. They want to raise funds, they want to get into the partnerships, or they want to do some marketing for their project. First you listen to them, and eventually they're going to ask you why you are here. So your connection is built, right? This is time you can actually tell them what you can do, and if they see there's a fit, they'll let you know.
Perfect. Thank you. So that describe very well your kind of strategy, your event strategy. So it's going somewhere, first prep the move, understand
Yes.
what is a little ecosystem, after
Yes.
build a relationship, and from
Yes.
that first touch point relationship, maybe
Yes.
to have an opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just to build relationship. It doesn't matter. You cannot get sales right away. Try to build the relationship. They'll see they need your services. They'll let you know. They're gonna exchange your business cards, right? So you always engage them later on sometime, because
Okay.
on the event they have some agenda to work on.
Okay, perfect. And you yourself, do you apply to be a speaker to some event as well?
Actually, one of my clients, they wanted me to represent their project, and the slot was there for the speaking event, or for the speaking slots. I got 2 slots. One is for the panel discussion, which is on the topic of Web3 adoption, and the other one was my presentation, where I have to explain the project with my presentation, and trying to educate the attendees. So it was a quite amazing experience for me.
Okay. Talking about education, so I'm going to pull up Mohsin Nazir. So I hope that I pronounce your name right. So he said, "Thanks for sharing this knowledge about metaverse. It helped me a lot in understanding the use case of the metaverse." So thank you for the comment, and I hope that Afzal love it as well. So keep it moving. What is your biggest problem right now running, you are running block Jenny technology, a firm, you have a funding thing on the side as well, you have maybe a couple of side project. What is your main problem right now on your journey?
So right now, main problem is to actually provide this solution, and I'm actually trying to focus on the quality of services we can offer right now, because it's early stage for the Web3 development companies into the market, right? So they're trying to get as much as they can, but my focus is to provide quality services, and that's the main challenge. Being honestly, what happens is most of the customers, clients, they come, they actually utilized other agencies first, and after the bad experience they come to me, and it's very difficult for these kind of clients to satisfy them on the solution. So that's the main challenge right now.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Did there is anything that you want to talk about, and I didn't give you the opportunity to?
I think we discussed a lot of topics, and it's a great experience for me to be here, and thank you very much once again for inviting me.
It's not the end. I still have a little rapid fire question for you. Are you here? Because it seems that the video lag a little bit. Could you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, yes, I hear you.
Yes. So okay. So it just it's very very quick. The idea is so I'm thinking about post production and social media, and so it's going to be like rapid fire question, and it's kind of when
Sure.
you reply, it's under 30 seconds, and it's something that I picture as a small clip that can be run on social media, right?
Right.
Okay. So what is your name?
Afzal Subhani.
What is the name of your film?
Blocks Genie Technologies.
What problem your film is solving?
We are providing solutions to Web3, at least early stage adopters from.
Okay. And what are you doing that is different than the competition?
We're trying to solve the problems of Web3 development, and also we're trying to educate the community of developers, and we're trying to solve the problem of the markets right now where the developers is very less.
Okay. And last question, it's what is your view of your industry in 5 and 10 years?
My point of view is uh, very simple. That in next 5 years, we're gonna see a lot of Web3 adoptions, but at the same time, a lot of challenges, and we need to come up with solid solutions when it comes to securing the data of our consumers and their funds. So we need to work on that.
Perfect. So it's the end of the rapid fire. So I do hope that you had a great experience. I hope that I've been able to ask you meaningful question for you to be on the spotlight, because it's the principle of Robert Spotlight. And maybe we will see each other on a further event. So question, what event do you plan to attend in 2023?
I have a list already. So most of the events are in Dubai, because Dubai is a very famous country. It's a business hub when it comes to Web3. A lot of adoption and a lot of support from the government, from the community, and some of the events in Europe, some of the events in Singapore, Malaysia, and Turkey.
Okay,
But
perfect.
coming
And
up right now, yeah, I'm focusing on Dubai. There's an event by next month.
okay, perfect. And where in Europe?
In Europe, there is first of all there is European Blockchain Convention, which
Okay,
is going to happen
Barcelona.
in Spain. Yeah,
Yes,
Barcelona,
Barcelona.
correct.
Yes. So maybe we will maybe if you go here, I will catch up with you on LinkedIn, and maybe we will that will be the occasion, the opportunity to meet all together in real life.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Would love to meet you again.
Perfect. Thank you, Afzal. Thank you, Mozin Husseini. So I hope that I said your name correctly. And Afzal, I wish you a great end of your day, or maybe I don't
Thank you.
know if what time is it for you, but I wish you a
It's
good
evening,
follow-up. Okay.
afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So good evening.
No problem. Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me to be here, and it was quite a fun session with you. And thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.